This is 2-2 solving one-step equations. All these problems ask us to solve each equation, then to check your solution. For the purpose of this review, I'm just going to be showing you how to solve each equation. To check your solution, just plug the value back in and make sure that the left-hand side equals to the right-hand side. Okay, before we get started, I want to make sure everybody understands what solve means. Okay, solving each equation means getting that variable alone, figure out what the variable is equal to. Alright, so number 6 gives us g plus 5 equals to 33. My first step is always to rewrite the equation. Okay, I see g plus 5 equals to 33. I need g alone, so I'm going to use the inverse operation. So the inverse of plus 5 is subtract 5. Whatever I do to the left hand side, I do to the right hand side. That's why this side, right, is subtract 5 to both sides. Once there, I can simplify, bring down the g. This is nothing. 35 minus 5 is 28. So it becomes g equals to 28 after some simplification. Number 7 gives us 104 equals to x minus 67. My first step is always to rewrite the equation. After write the equation, I've noticed this is a subtract 67. That is what is next to the x. I have to get rid of the subtract 67. The inverse of subtract 67 is add 67. Do that to both sides. Add 67 to both sides, right? And do the simplification. The left-hand side should be 171 equals to x, right? Nothing's left over on the right-hand side except for the x, okay? Because we use the inverse operation. 8. Negative 4 plus t equals to negative 7, okay? We notice that t is here, and there is the negative 4 attached to it. We have to use the inverse operation once again. So my first step is to always rewrite the equation. After that, I add 4 to both sides, because again, I'm trying to get t alone. Once I add 4 to both sides, I can simplify. What's left on my left-hand side is just a t, and on my right-hand side, negative 7 plus 4 is negative 3. You can use your calculator to double check, but another way you can think about it is that if you have negative 7 plus 4, what is bigger, the absolute value-wise? 7 or 4? 7, right? The answer has to be negative because the negative is more negative than 4. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, you could also grab a number line if you need help with this. All right, 9. We have a plus 26 equals to 35. A is not alone. Okay, it has a plus 6. So what we have to do is subtract 26 to both sides. Once we subtract 26 to 8 to both sides, we see some clarification. A's is what is left over on the left hand side. 35 minus 26 is equal to 9 after some simplification. Here we have 10. We have x over 7 is equal to negative 5. Okay. Another way I could read it is x divided by 7 equals to negative 5. X is not alone, right? There is a divide by 7 here. To get rid of it, you do the inverse. The inverse of divide by 7 is multiply by 7. I multiply 7 to both sides. Once I multiply 7 to both sides, I got x, which is left on my left-hand side, and my right-hand side, I got negative 35. Negative 5 times 7 is negative 35, okay? It's straightforward, right? We use the inverse to get the letter alone. Next, we have 11. 11 is t divided by 2 equals to negative 4. Again, this is t divided by 2, okay? T is not alone. There's a divide by 2 attached, so what we have to do is do the inverse. The inverse of divide by 2 is multiply by 2. We multiply 2 to both sides. There you go, there you go. Simplify the left hand side, which becomes t. The right hand side is negative 4 times 2, which is equal to negative 28. Next, after that, we have 12. 4x equals to 10. Right? What is attached to the x? We have a multiply by 4. The inverse of multiply by 4 is divide by 4. That's why I divide by 4 to both sides. After I divide 4 to both sides, the left hand side equals to x, and the right hand side is simplified into 5 over 2. Or you could just write 10 over 4. Both answers are correct, okay? If you simplify 10 over 4, it becomes 5 over 2. Next, we have 13. 2 over 3 times a is equal to 10. What is attached to the a right now? We have a 2 over 3, okay? So, let's deal with the bottom number first, right? The divide by 3. How do we get rid of a divide by 3? That's correct. You multiply by 3. Do that to both sides. Once you multiply by 3, the left-hand side, you're left with the 2a, right? Because the 3 over 3 here makes 1, so you have what's left is just the 2a on the left hand side. The right hand side, 10 times 3 is 30. A is not alone yet. You have to divide by 2. Okay? Once you divide by 2 to both sides, the left hand side becomes just a. The right hand side is 30 divided by 2 is 15. You could simplify this process if you just you multiply it by 3 over 2 from the start. Okay? Then you multiply by 2 here. And you also had to divide by 2 at the same time. Okay? Doesn't matter, you still get the same answer of a equals to 15. Okay? Either way, same answer. Okay? I broke it up into 2 pieces, a multiplication part and a divide part. Okay? 14, it gives us a equals to 36 equals to a over 36 is equal to 4 divided by 9. Alright, so what is attached to this a so far? It's a divide by 36. So to get rid of the divide by 36, we multiply by 36 to both sides. Multiply 36 to both sides. The left hand side is just a, the right hand side. 4 times 36 divided by 9 is equal to 16. I can show the multiplication if you need to. Okay, just ask me in class. Okay, or you could just use a calculator for this. Okay, next we have 12 equals to x divided by negative 3. What is attached to the x so far? We have a divide by negative 3. How do we get rid of a divided by negative 3? We multiply by negative 3. We have to do that to both sides. Okay, multiply negative 3 to both sides. What does that get you? Negative 3 times 12 is negative 36. Good. The right hand side, what I have left over is an x. Good. 16, we have x over 15 is equal to 1 over 5. What is attached to the x so far? We have a divided by 15. So, to get x alone, we have to use the inverse operation. The inverse of divided by 15 is to multiply by 15. I multiply 15 to both sides. After I multiply 15 to both sides, the left hand side just becomes x. The right hand side becomes 15 over 5, which is simplified into 3. Let me show you right here. 15 times 1 is 15. Okay. 15 over 5 is 3. Right? There you go. Okay. Next. And that's it for 2.2. The next one is going to be 2.3.